Hey everyone, right before this video starts, I just want to come on here and say that the support on the last video actually blew my mind. I have never had a video do that good before, and I went from like 800 subscribers to over 1,000. So to all of you new viewers, thank you so much, because I worked really hard on that video with all the drawings and stuff, and I loved reading everyone's comments, everyone's opinions and takes on the collab that I made up. So thank you so much for watching that video, and I hope that this video does just as good and you guys like it just as much as my last one, because I'm kind of a new YouTuber. I'm kind of new to this YouTube stuff, so I really appreciate all the feedback. So thank you so much for the last video and enjoy this new one.
Fortnite has a lot of skins, like a lot of skins, like 4 of them maybe. A majority of them, as of now, are collab skins, which is fine because the collabs are cool, but also kind of lame. But one kind of thing that sucks about them is you can't collab with everything. Not that Fortnite's not trying, it's just some skins you can't make. SpongeBob, South Park, Amazing World of Gumball, tons of shows have a lot of smaller sized characters.
Okay, everyone, pause. While I was editing this, right when I was editing this, it has been revealed, or at least leaked, that this may be what the South Park collab looks like. There's rumors going on that all 4 of them will be in mechs that look like this, which is ironic because I just said that the characters won't fit. Now, I will say that it being in an Osimo kind of design is really cool and actually makes sense for the lore of the show. So this actually isn't that bad. I really like how this looks. But it's just funny because as I was talking about it, it's been leaked. So, or supposedly leaked. This may not be official, but point is, very funny.
I mean, even Sonic could work as a tall skin, but looks kind of weird and you'd prefer him to be his regular Sonic size. And Fortnite has thought of a solution for most of these problems. Put them in a mech suit. Morty was kind of the first skin to ever have this, and everyone thought it looked fine because Morty rides mechs in the show all the time. The technology makes sense. It kind of, it fit the vibe. It was fine. It was whatever. And also we got to have Morty as a skin, so it was a win-win. But as of last season, they introduced Bart and Lisa also into the shop, and they were also in mechs. In my last video, I had talked about adding smiling friends into Fortnite, and a lot of people commented him as a skin, but the only way to do that was to have to put him in a mech too. And while I understand that maybe it doesn't bother everybody, it doesn't even bother me that much. It's still not the coolest way to do it, and I feel like there's a way that Fortnite could make these skins still mechy and still collab-esque without having to completely encase most of the skin in a complete mech suit. Let's start with Morty because he was the first one to do it, and the solution seems pretty easy. By simply just cutting the seat out of the mech, and what you're left with is just arms and legs. And the arms and legs are Fortnite skin character size. I assume if you just cut the arms and legs off of the mech and turn them into more of gloves and boots for Morty, the skin can now in-game look a lot more like you're actually Morty rather than you being in a robot that just happens to have like a Morty head. Bart was a lot harder because unlike Rick and Morty, Bart is a lot more down to earth as far as the Simpsons go. But it's not like he's in a mech every day. He's on a skateboard and or a bike or something. So his mech doesn't look that bad. His mech looks cool. And at first I thought about making a mech that's like made out of skateboards, but I passed on that because that was confusing and stupid. But what I did think about is the fact that Bart is small and is always with Milhouse, his best friend. And putting the two on top of each other would make them tall enough to be most of the Fortnite skin. Milhouse being the torso and Bart could be sitting on him, making him the rest of the torso, neck, and head. Which would also then be really cool because you can incorporate Milhouse and Bart as to one skin. You can even have an edit style where they switch places, so you could be Milhouse skin too. Oh my gosh, 2 for 1 skin. But I hear you guys saying, hey, their legs and arms are not tall enough to be a Fortnite skin, so it still wouldn't work. And yes, I agree. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a page out of The Simpsons itself, because there is one scene that was really popular when The Simpsons season was revealed. People were comparing the Bart skin to this scene in The Simpsons, where Bart is actually in a mech suit. And obviously they couldn't make this into a skin because it's bulky and it's even less of Bart than the suit that we actually got in game. But to make it feel a little bit more cohesive to the Simpsons lore, I'm just gonna cut the arms and legs off of this mech and use them as gloves and boots for Milhouse and Bart. And yeah, the skin's kind of busy, it's kind of crazy, kind of chaotic, but that kind of fits Bart's whole vibe. And if they really wanted to, sure, they could paint and change the arms and legs, but this is something that could 100% exist in the Simpsons universe, also in Fortnite, and it fits as a skin. And you can also see all of Bart and also all of Milhouse in the skin the whole way around. For Lisa, Lisa's is difficult. Lisa's never been in a mech like Bart has, even in the show. And Lisa's, her character's like all about, she has her saxophone, which is her pickaxe already in game, and she's like a huge nerd, and the mech kind of fits. And so I can't lie, the mech isn't the worst thing in the world. For Lisa, sort of like Bart, or sort of like Morty, I don't think it's the worst, but I also don't prefer it. The only thing I guess I could offer for Lisa, the same as Morty, is I would say just cut the arms and legs off of her mech, make them into gloves and boots for the skin, and at least the core body of the skin looks a lot more like Lisa. Because I think the biggest problem these mechs have, and will continue to have, is that when you're playing the game, you, the player, see the back of your skin. And if the back of your Fortnite skin doesn't look like the collab that you paid for, I'd be upset. If I buy the Bart skin and all I see is his head on a big robot body, that's gonna kind of suck. I would rather just see Bart. I think that's the really big problem these mechs have, and I think there's a place for them. Like, for instance, the Kit skin, awesome. That makes sense. It's a kitten piloting a mech suit, and it works great. Now, I don't prefer the mechs, but I understand why they do it. And these are just my suggestions on how to fix the mechs. You guys can go down in the comments and leave down your opinions on, do you think my fixes worked? Were they stupid? Or how would you fix the mechs? Or do you think they even need to be changed at all? Let me know, and while you're down there, do the YouTube things, subscribe, like, all that good jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next one.